Another change which we recently brought into one of our client companies was introduction of production war rooms. So when you actually mind the Kaizens and when you look at problems 24/7 into the organization, and it is not enough that you have looked at problems and then you are waiting for results to come. Sometimes it doesn't happen. So it is possible that you have in some cases people are not there to even identify the problem. In some cases they have identified the problem, they are not solving the problem, they are not acting on it. And in some cases they will do it for some time, but then again they will come back to the same situation as before. So if you put pressure, it's fine. If you don't put pressure, they are again back to normal. And it's happened with me in many companies, including one pharma company, where we had a problem related to, it's a batch production of chemicals used in pharma industry, and there we have a lot of issues related to quality of the batch. And we got deeper into the whole thing, and we found 4Ms again. And in addition to 4M, particularly the process parameters, where we have the ambient conditions, the temperatures, the relative humidity, the differential pressures, and the hygiene conditions, and the 5S conditions, and clinically clean is what we talk. And because there are issues related to sterility in such cases, and human intervention is quite dangerous, and bacteria can get in, and you can make the environment and the product very contagious. So everything needs to be, the batches have to be, processed under very, very controlled conditions. And if you don't do them, then you can have, the variations can, bring in havoc in the process. So yield is another issue, okay? Because there are a lot of reactions involved, filtrations involved, and solvents involved, and there is a wastage of the mother material, which is very expensive in some cases. So how do you improve the yield? That also becomes, so quality and yield, and of course the batch cycle time and batch sizes, so all become very challenging. So these areas become important for you. Tips, these are the tips for you to do Kaizens as a mining exercise. So similarly, as I talked in my last video also, in engineering industry also, there is a 4M exercise which has to be done. So there are gaps between the schedules, what's the actual, and how do you fill those gaps, it becomes very important. So the question is, how do we go about it? So as I said, we introduce a production war room, and this production war room can be virtual, it can be physical. So all the HODs are part of it, and this war room works on 24/7 basis. You can have a group WhatsApp, or where the information must flow. The information has not been flowing. Now, if information doesn't flow, then it becomes a problem for the management. So the first change that we need is, how do we make the information flow? And a real-time flow of information is what is more important, so that if the line in charge or the batch in charge does not act when the problem has occurred, whether it is breakdown of a particular equipment, or it is non-availability of material, non-availability of manpower or power, or environmental conditions for the batches being violated, etc., etc. No conditions, any condition that is not being met, it must be reported on real-time basis. That's the spirit. So if that happens, then the action, the management will get into action. The local management will get into action. If local management doesn't get into action, then it gets escalated to the next level. And the problem does not go beyond a particular time frame, okay? And there must be some action. So everybody in the organization, becomes part of the problem, solution to the problem, and concerned about the problem. That is what we call the seriousness. And you cannot then blame anybody, because every key person is actually part of that war room, and you are informed about it, that there's a problem. So the marketing guys also know, the dispatch guys also know, the supply chain guys also know that because of me there's a problem, and the marketing guy knows there is a problem, so I must inform the customer also accordingly. And everybody must, it's affecting each and everybody who is part of the group. So there's a team effort. Immediately the communication starts. Oh, come on, this is what has to be, this problem has to be solved immediately. And sometimes I become part of that problem, of solution of that problem, and try to help the production team too. So whether it is a supply chain problem, or it's a marketing problem, or it's a quality problem, or it is a HR problem, it is our problem. Okay, it's not that it is your problem. It's problem of everyone. That's the Kaizen spirit. So this is another approach where so I've been discussing in my series Kaizen in Action various approaches of Kaizen mining, as to how Kaizen can be mined, because there are a lot of misconceptions about Kaizen. People think that I don't know how to start, where to start, but it's very common sense practice, okay? And we basically need to improve our operations. We need to improve our business. We need to improve our results. We need to improve our beta. And there are a lot of problems which are coming in the way. And how do we get in? So whatever has to be done to improve those conditions of business is what is Kaizen. So why do you say that it is for a worker, or it is for this, it is for that? It is for the organization. So Kaizen is in the organization mode. It is a Kaizen practicing organization if they work like this. A united effort with Kaizen spirit. So we'll share more such experiences in my coming videos. But meanwhile, if you want to interact with me and want to share your views, please do get in touch with me at www.kaizenguru.in. Thank you so much. It was wonderful talking to you.